I used to have this friend. Let's call her Chloe. We met in college and hit it off instantly. Or so I thought. We were inseparable, always together, sharing everything. She was charming, popular, and always knew the right thing to say. I felt lucky to have her in my life. For years, she was my rock, my confidant, my other half. But looking back now, the signs were there from the very beginning. I was just too blind, or maybe too naive, to see them. It started small. She'd forget her wallet when we went out for coffee. I'd cover her, of course. What's a few bucks between friends? Then it became bigger things. She needed to borrow money for rent, promising to pay me back as soon as her paycheck came in. That paycheck never seemed to arrive, or if it did, something more urgent always came up. I'd lend her my car, and it would come back with the gas tank on empty. She'd borrow my favorite dress for a party and accidentally spill something on it, ruining it forever. Each time, she was so apologetic, so convincing. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm the worst friend ever. I'll make it up to you. I promise. And I'd forgive her. Because that's what friends do, right? You support each other. I told myself she was just going through a rough patch. I was the stable one, the one who had her life together, and it was my job to help her out. I felt needed. I felt important. Little did I know, that was exactly what she was counting on. The real turning point came when I landed my dream job after graduation. It was a competitive position at a marketing firm I'd been aiming for since freshman year. I was over the moon. The first person I called was Chloe, expecting her to be as excited as I was. Her reaction was lukewarm. "Oh, that's cool," she said, her voice flat. "Guess you'll be too busy for me now." I was taken aback. I reassured her that of course not. Nothing would change between us. But something had changed. My success seemed to put a spotlight on her lack of it. Suddenly, her emergencies became more frequent and more expensive. She'd call me in tears, talking about a family crisis or a sudden medical bill that she couldn't possibly afford. The stories were always dramatic, always urgent. I'd dip into my savings, transferring her hundreds of dollars at a time because I couldn't bear to see my best friend in so much distress. She knew exactly which buttons to push, how to play on my sympathy. She made me feel like I was her only hope, her savior. At the same time, she started making subtle digs at me. She'd comment on my fancy new clothes or joke about how I was selling out to the corporate world. If I achieved something at work, she'd downplay it or change the subject. It was a confusing mix. On one hand, she was leaning on me for everything. On the other, she seemed to resent me for being in a position to help. It was like she wanted to keep me close enough to use me but far enough away that my success wouldn't make her feel bad about herself. The cracks really started to show when our mutual friend Liam came to me with a worried look on his face. He asked me if I'd lent Chloe money recently. I admitted I had. He then told me he'd seen her on social media, posting pictures from a weekend spa getaway the same weekend she called me crying about not being able to afford her groceries. My stomach dropped. I scrolled through her profile. There it was, pictures of her in a fluffy robe, clinking glasses of champagne, with a caption that said, "Treat yourself." I felt a cold wave of nausea wash over me. It couldn't be. There had to be an explanation. Maybe someone else paid for it. Maybe it was an old picture. I confronted her, trying to keep my voice steady. She immediately got defensive. "Wow, so you're spying on me now? I can't believe you don't trust me. My cousin felt bad for me and treated me to a spa day. Is that a crime?" Her indignation was so powerful, her acting so convincing, that I actually started to doubt myself. I apologized for questioning her. I felt ashamed, but the seed of doubt had been planted, and it started to grow. I began paying closer attention. I noticed how her stories never quite added up. The details would change every time she told them. I started talking to other mutual friends, something I should have done years ago. It was like opening Pandora's box. One friend told me Chloe had borrowed her expensive camera for a trip and then claimed it was stolen, never offering to replace it. Another mentioned how Chloe had taken credit for a group project in college, letting everyone else do the work. The stories were all different, but the pattern was identical. Chloe used people for their money, their resources, their kindness, and then discarded them. I realized I wasn't her friend. I was a resource, a bank, an emotional support ATM. My kindness wasn't a quality she admired. It was a weakness she exploited. The anger I felt was overwhelming, not just at her, but at myself for letting it go on for so long. for ignoring all the red flags because I wanted to believe in the friendship we supposedly had. The final straw came a few weeks later. She called me with the most elaborate story yet. Her younger brother, she claimed, had gotten into some serious trouble and needed $5,000 for a lawyer immediately. She was hysterical, sobbing, saying her family would be destroyed if I didn't help. The old me would have transferred the money without a second thought. But this was the new me. I calmly told her, "Chloe, I know your brother. He's studying abroad in Spain right now. I saw his post this morning." There was dead silence on the other end of the line. For a full 10 seconds, nothing. Then, the tears stopped instantly. Her voice turned cold as ice. "So you've been checking up on me. You've been talking to people behind my back." It wasn't a question. It was an accusation. "I didn't have to," I said, my voice shaking a little but firm. "Your lies finally caught up with you." I told her I knew about the spa trips, the stolen items, the web of deceit she had spun around everyone who ever tried to care about her. I told her how much she had hurt me. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just laid out the facts one by one. She didn't apologize. She didn't try to explain. She just exploded. She called me every name in the book. She told me I was a terrible friend, that I was selfish and arrogant, that I had abandoned her in her time of need. It was the most bizarre, twisted display of gaslighting I had ever experienced. In her mind, she was the victim. I, the person she had lied to and stolen from for years, was the villain for finally calling her out. After she finished her tirade, I just said, "Goodbye, Chloe," and I hung up. Then I blocked her number. I blocked her on every social media platform. I cut her out of my life completely. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. It felt like a breakup, mourning a friendship that I now realized had never really existed. The aftermath was difficult. I felt a strange mix of relief, anger, and sadness. But as the days turned into weeks, the relief began to outweigh everything else. A huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. My phone wasn't a source of anxiety anymore. My bank account started to recover. I reconnected with the real friends in my life, the ones who gave as much as they took. Exposing Chloe's lies wasn't about revenge. It was about self-preservation. It was about reclaiming my life and my finances and my emotional energy. It taught me a painful but valuable lesson. True friendship is built on trust and mutual respect, not on transactions. If you feel like you're constantly giving and getting nothing but drama and demands in return, it might be time to take a closer look. Protecting your own peace isn't selfish. It's necessary. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you've ever been through something similar, please share your experience in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. See you next time.